What's going on, guys? I haven't made a video in a minute, so you already know I'm coming with some heat. And we're gonna come with some real truth today. Real. Real. Truth. You feel me? Today, guys, just something that always irks me. And listen, I don't know. We're in uncharted territory. And it's really, really hard. I'm going to say that first. We are in uncharted territory. We are in this place that, did we see, what's funny? People always talk. Damn, I'm about to drop some bars. People always talk about, predicting the future. But they never talk, in depth about facing what's going to happen or what's going to come. For example, you guys all, I don't know what that was. Sound like a earthquake was about to happen behind me. For example, in the book, Things Fall Apart. I don't know if anybody's read it. In the book, Things Fall Apart, it's about colonialism, and it's about an African tribe, and it was basically they talked about this happening, but they didn't talk about us having to kill our own, right? And I'm saying that in a sense of it's new territory. You could predict the future all you want, but we don't talk about how in those moments you're gonna have to make really, really hard decisions for yourself, but for your future. And the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because a lot of us are getting mad at ourselves for where we are in life. And a lot of these situations are out of our control. Did we know that our generation would go through, and the future generations would go through such economical, spiritual crises? Did we really know? And did we know what decisions people would have to make? Right? And we know what a big decision everybody made was relating to the past thing that happened regarding the truster. People had to get the truster to keep their jobs, right? You had to do what you had to do, right? Some people lost their jobs, right? We are in times where nobody even, could predict. I mean, you predicted, this is how vague it is when people predict. And this is why I say it's important. Because we need to stop putting so much of the stress and the blame on ourselves. Because, think about when people predict the future, they just say, yeah, the government's going to take over and it's going to be locked down, blah, blah, blah. They don't talk about the steps in depth enough of what is really going to happen, step by step, putting your back against the wall. So one thing people always want to talk about, and what today's video is really about, is why men think women will save them. But in reality, it's only going to make it worse. And the truth is, a lot of men think a woman's going to save them. They get with a woman, and it actually makes it worse, because all the things you put off because you thought, oh, a woman's just going to get with me, accept me for who I am. Well, when you get with a woman, they're not, if she's really for you, and if she really cares about you, really loves you, and wants to see you succeed, all that stuff that you buried down and you're not addressing about yourself, she's going to bring to light. And get this, you're going to get mad at her for doing it. And you're going to be like, you're a B word, and you're the problem. You're the problem. You're this, and you're that. But get this, all she wants from you is for you to grow, accept it, and be better. She's putting the harsh reality in front of you. But men, we live in fantasy world. I've talked about that, so many times. Once I've come to this realization that men don't live in reality, we live in fantasy. But I think that's what makes the world go round, though. I think you need that fantasy partner, because that's how, if you don't have a man who thinks, I'm going to dominate the world and I'm going to go on a crusade and I'm going to do all this, he won't have any ambitions to do anything. Right? We need some ambitions in the back of our head, no matter how outlandish they may seem. But at the end of the day, you still need some sort of level-headedness, groundness, which what a woman brings. They bring straight groundness, straight level-headedness. They see through all the facades of the world. Men see everything as a test, everything as an obstacle, and that's just how we are. It's fun, but it causes more stress on us, which is the truth. We make so many problems out of nothing because we think everything needs to be tackled. So you're gonna bet all your chips on trying to get with a woman, fellas. And I'm telling you right now, if you do not heal yourself and you get with a woman, it's only gonna make it worse. And then one thing I always notice is that people always think that they're healing and they're working on themselves. But the truth is, if you're doing it in isolation, which is I do it. I've done that all my life. Isolation, right? So I'll tell a little bit thing about myself. Sorry. I thought I was healed. Oh, I've been healing by myself, moving in silence, right? That's everybody says, moving in silence. I've been healing, doing my thing. I'm healed. But the minute you get around somebody that irks you or something like that, or puts some holes in your thing, you get irked, you get angry, you get upset. And guess what? It's because you're not really as enlightened as you think you are. You're not really as healed as you think you are. Well, get this. A woman will make that 100 times more. If you already can't stand your family and you think you're enlightened, guess what? A woman will make you think that's nothing. Because they really want what's for best for you. So I'm urging all my men out there, make sure you heal. Make sure it's truly coming from a place of wanting to grow. Because if otherwise, it's not really healing. It's just selfish. It's narcissism. That's really all I got for you guys today. But like I said, and the reason why I said all that in the beginning is because we're in a different type of state in the world, right? Heightened political beliefs. Heightened economical disadvantages, spiritual disadvantages. You know, getting a partner nowadays is fucking hard. And I understand that. It's fucking hard. I couldn't even imagine not being with my partner because it's bleak out here. And I understand that, but you got to hang in there because it will be worth it at the end. We're just behind the curveball on everything in this life, which is what we couldn't account for, man. Really think about it. You know, I always see arguments like, oh, this is why I didn't want to have kids, because I'm 50 and I get to do whatever I want. If everything were the way it is, guess what? I'd be 50 with 5 kids and still doing whatever I wanted because they'd be grown. You sound dumb. Even if right now I'm 29, if I were to have kids next year or by 31, still by 50, my kids are grown and I will still be able to do whatever I want. Right? Like, it's not hard. People make things so much bigger, but what I'm saying is, I'm realizing too, like, if my plan doesn't go the way, my life's never gone the way I wanted it to go or the way I think it's going to go. So if you feel that way too, don't put any caps on yourselves. Just deal with what you got. We got to deal with what we got. All right? Because this life is hard. And it's not hard in a sense of, it's hard. How do I explain it? It's hard in a sense of like dealing, if you really want to grow and be a better person, but knowing you're trapped in like this monogamy, like, I don't even know if that's the right word, like monotonous, like just stupidity every day. That's when it's hard. But if you can trick yourself to be in the rat race, right? Then life is easy. Oh, just do this, and it'll work out. Yeah, you follow the rat race. But when you realize you're in the rat race, that's when life is hard. And then finding somebody else who wants to align with you that's not also participating in the rat race. So much going on. Economically, like I said, it's harder to afford anything, to do anything. Spiritually, it's hard to know where to look. Can you look inwards? Well, society doesn't want you to look inwards, right? It wants you to look outwards. Doom and gloom. And I'm seeing it. Like I said, I'm out here teaching, and these kids are the biggest doomers I've ever met in my life. They put regular, everyday, like jock kids put goth kids to shame because they're filled with doom. Remember a little student, I just had them do a little activity, right? And then I'll end this video. I had them do a little activity, fun. And it was like, they just went deep on me. They go so deep. And that's another thing. Like, the kids nowadays, they have access to so much more. It's going to be even harder for them. The shit we're going through, it's going to be 10 times harder for them. And then our kids, maybe even harder. Or maybe it might be easier because, the way it bounces, the way the waves work, right? But she was like, you ever just think about death and think about how scary dying is? And and I was like, she just started like, I could see her starting to spiral in the class. And I said, oh, so we're not doing all that right now. Let's calm down. But that happens. You can see it. We're in unprecedented territory, my people. I hope everybody stays strong. I love all of you. I'm feeling good. I'm trying to figure out what's going on in my life as just as much as you're trying to figure out what's going on in your life. I think no matter what, at the end of the day, I'll always be thinking, even if I'm not posting videos, no, I'm always thinking and just figuring out what needs to be said in the current moment. I want to end the video, but I just feel like there needs to be more. But if you're not going to watch the video, you're not going to watch the video. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I get like 5 views anyway. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I feel for everybody so much. I think my empathy has gotten at an all-time high. My empathy has increased. I didn't know that was possible. I think I definitely was capped. I didn't want to fully invest in. And that's another thing. We're in a society where you're afraid to fully invest in others, people, or something like that. And I'm not saying you're not empathetic, and I'm not saying I'm not empathetic, but it's like you try to, because there's so much going on, you don't want to give. But I'm noticing, even though I'm giving more, and it's making me more tired, I'm feeling better though. The more I give emotionally, the more I feel rewarded, but it takes a toll on me physically, which makes me literally believe I need to start wearing some sort of, crystal type protection, or have something on me. If you roast me, it is what it is, but I'm being honest. I'm noticing the more I give emotionally, emotional support, just very, like one thing you got to do in life is like really, listen, understand it's a rat race. We know this life is but a dream, but you need to participate in it as if it were real. But understand, but make steps. This is where, don't get it twisted. Make steps to make sure that you're not in the rat race, right? So steps to make sure you're not in the rat race are making real connections, building real bonds, sharing vulnerable moments, being your real 100% authentic self, doing things that make you feel good. That's how you can avoid the rat race in that way. But when you're just following everybody else, you're not actually doing what's best for you. So doing what's best for you, absolutely. But I'm noticing it's having a physical toll on me. I'm telling you, and it's like, it's not even, It's so weird because I know what tired is. It's not a sleep tired. It's like, I know this is sound corny, but it's like literally like my soul needs rest. Like I'm sleeping so hard that like you would have thought somebody beat me up. Because every day I'm giving full emotional, the eye contact. Got to give them the give everybody the eye contact. Stare into them, make them uncomfortable, honestly. Make them uncomfortable. Just give it your all, and that's how you build real relationships. I don't really have anything else on it after this last little bit, though, is that I'm noticing a lot of people, there's a lot of people who mention, like, health diets, different ways to success, and doing X thing, X that. Listen, at the end of the day, they're all trying to sell you something. You gotta do your best and just realize everyone's trying to make it somehow, some way. So just avoid it. All right, love you guys. Be safe.